This was my birthday present to me. Have you heard of color analysis for like your clothing and your hair and your makeup? Anybody? I didn't know about it. And then last year, I went to Macy McNeely's live conference in September, and I met a handful of people who looked different than everybody else. Like they were magnetic and confident, and I was drawn to them. I wanted to pick their brain about what they do. And one of them became one of my buds. And they told me, you need to get your colors done. And I was like, what does that mean? And they said, there is a palette of colors that your skin, your eyes, your hair, they will make you sing. They will wake up what you look like. And then you'll be in congruence with who you are. And then your message and the way you look will match. And it's like a huge deal. And they told me a lot about it. And I looked online and I tried to figure out some of my colors, and I bought different clothes, and I did I hold up all these clothes in my bathroom and then like tried different colors. And I follow a bunch of different color people on social media. Um, they were right. They were like, you can make a stab at it and get kind of far, but you need to go have it professionally done. So I finally broke down and did that this week for my birthday. That was my birthday present to me. And my color palette looks like this. These are my colors. And it's this very methodical process. And the subtleties of what you see when you're in a color that is for you is mind blowing. So, like, they start with cold and warm, and then they go to bright and muted, and then they go to, um, like they would call it soft or bright, and then they go to dark and light, and then they pare it down and pare it down and pare it down until they nail one palette. And it is, I didn't think it would be this mind blowing to see how the right palette plays on who I am and how the wrong one drains and takes away from me. I saw my face differently than I've ever seen it. I realized you have to sit there for 3 hours in a neutral gray bonnet. We have photos. I don't know if I'll release them. A neutral gray bonnet over your hair and a neutral gray smock over your clothes and no makeup on. So you're just staring at your own blank face for 3 hours in the exactly the right light, draping different colors on and off to watch what happens. And over the 3 hours, something changed. At first, I was so uncomfortable sitting there staring at the mirror, looking at my plain self, seeing all of my flaws and trying to make my face look right. And like, I hate this. It was so hard. And by the end of 3 hours, I saw myself. I think maybe I saw myself the way you see my face. I saw what other people see, but I've only ever seen my least favorite things about my face, and I stare at them. It was completely mind blowing. So, I left there, and before I did anything else, because I have another trip coming and some recording to do this week, I didn't buy a single clothing for a long, long time because I kept getting my colors slightly right, and I would buy a bunch of stuff and then find out like I was looking at myself like this is not right. So I haven't bought any clothes for a really long time. I cleaned out my closet. Alyssa, thank you very much. She's an organizer. Praise. Alyssa really cleaned out my closet and helped me put it back together. So it's kind of empty. When I got to town, I did not even go to my house. I went to the store and I found colors that are my colors. I am telling you, there's not a clothing hack like this. It was so easy to choose. All of them mix and match depending on how much contrast you want to have. Like, I wouldn't wear this with one of my deep green things, reasonably. They all mix and match. I had so much fun standing in my bathroom last night, putting together 8 different pieces into 24 outfits. I have never experienced that in my whole life. The lesson is the woman was so cool. And I was thinking the whole time, I was like, she does with colors what I do with language, with somebody's priorities, with your relationships. The thing that will make the people around you drawn to you and want to change is you turning up you. That's all this does. I was already me, but when I put on clothes that feel like me, people have a different experience around me because I'm having a different experience of me. So all it does is accentuate you. There's no hiding in your colors because they make you glow. They make you come forward, not the color. They put you forward. My mind is so blown. What we're doing in here is turning you up. God doesn't want you to be less you. Here's what I found out sitting in that chair and what I already knew by my closet. I want to wear colors that I can hide in. Either ones that kind of match my tone and wash me out. So it feels like camouflage. It's kind of what I thought my colors were the ones that kind of match me. Those aren't my colors. Those are the ones that hide me. I also wanted to wear a lot of gray and a lot of black and like dark blue. Dark blue is my jam, but it's a hiding color as well. I just wanted plain clothes. I didn't want anybody to look at me. I don't want to stand out. And what I'm finding out is God ain't worried about you standing out. In fact, he says it's Christ inside of you that is the hope of glory for the world. So when we hide, we're turning down the light of who he is. And we're the only thing we have control over. I'm the only thing. I get to decide how bright the light is. I don't get to decide how bright the light is in any other thing, right? So I was all day when I was in the dressing room and I was having so much fun with the Holy Spirit, picking out clothes and trying on colors and swapping them. And I was like, this is mind blowing. I'm so glad I know this. And I thought of the scripture. Don't worry about what you're going to wear. Do not worry what you'll wear or what you'll eat, right? I think it was in my daily plan yesterday. This is what the Lord showed to me. He said, the Lord dresses the lilies. They don't have to spin or toil, but the Lord dresses the lilies. I was like, wait a minute. It says, don't worry. It does not say, don't get dressed. In fact, our Father is modeling dressing things. He dresses the lilies. Like, I got to partner with him in being dressed. He made you beautiful and he wants you to show, or he would have made humans invisible. He could have done that. He could have made us beings that you can't see. He made you visible. He made you with specific eyes and specific hair and specific skin and a specific shape. And he wants to show himself to the world through you. There was such a witness to love in this woman's house. It was palatable. She's like anointed to do colors, but she's also so full of peace and joy. She's so safe because she's being her. It was such a phenomenal experience. So I do recommend this experience. It was so special. What I want to say to you is this is what we're doing with our words. When we change our words, or we take out our feelings on people, or we protect ourselves from them, or we avoid them, or we avoid what we're feeling, or we avoid what we're convicted about, we're turning him down. You're not just turning you down. You're turning the Lord down. He made you this way. You feel what you feel because you have a value that's being compromised. You feel what you feel because you have a need that's not being met. You want what you want because you're here to create something. You long for what you long for because he put that there. He wants to show the world who he is through the lilies and through you. You imagine him being like, this ocean, it's a bit much. It's kind of inconvenient for people. Let's make it a lake. No, make it bigger. The bigger it is, the more intense it is, the more we are in awe and wonder, right? So let's tune in to who you are and what you want and what your values are and what you desire and turn it up. Let's turn it up. And it's so crazy because we believe these lies. Like, if I'm turned up, somehow I'm like an arrogant, egotistical. The enemy is like, it's all about you. Oh, there she goes, making it all about her. No, that is from the pit of hell. Your operating system has been washed. God installed his righteousness in you when you received him. You can count on it. And you go to him with your fears and you say, this is what I'm hearing in my head. Is that true? And he'll show you in the Bible where that's not true. You're no longer the scum of the earth. You're not bent on disobedience. You're actually a slave to righteousness. You were a slave to sin. Now you're a slave to light. Now you're a slave to love. So these feelings and thoughts that we have on the inside, we're to take them and go, Lord, what is this? You made me whole. So what am I feeling? What do I need to do about it? Be you. It's funny. This woman's brand, her company is called Be You. And man, I walked into her house. She's got it decorated in her colors. Like the paint on her wall is like, y'all, I'll show you pictures. The pictures don't do it justice. I could have just sat on the middle of that floor and just cried and sat with the Lord in her house because it's her house. And being immersed in somebody who's them is such a sweetness. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So can you think of anybody who acts like them? Who's like the real them as they are. And they're delightful because they're what they are. This is why babies are so special. Because they didn't mask up yet. They didn't start rearranging who they are for you. They just are. Jesus said, if you're not going to become like a little kid, you can't be part of the kingdom. Kids aren't looking around thinking, how do I make people like me? How do I improve what they think of me? How do I stay out of everybody's way? Little babies, 1, 2, 3, they're just being. They're in it for the fun and they want what they want and they're mad about what they're mad about, right? That's what kids are like. You must become like a little child. You need to pick your design. The 2-year-old didn't be like, I want to kind of like trucks, but I really actually like Legos. So I'm going to pretend that I like trucks, right? It's not like that. Stop it. What's in you? Be that. Very exciting. If you did that, my kids, for example, I'm going to give you this is a real life example from like right now. I asked her to build me a bunch of watercolor colors that I need some yellow, I need some orange, I need red for what we don't want, and maybe like a light blue green for what we do want, and I need some purple for the goals that we have. And so she's like painting away, creating different watercolor swatches for me. And then my son was telling me all about what he wants to buy for the road trip, like the snacks he wants to put together. And then he was asking me when they can do Minecraft, and I was busy making to-do lists for the next 3 days because we're about to travel again. And a handful of times I just told him like, hey, too many details. Like I heard none of what you said, but if you can say it to me in one sentence, I can answer you about Minecraft. Just like honest. And at first people will feel rejected because they think they're rejectable. So go ahead and let them feel that. They got to go feel that to explore what the heck that is. It's like, hey, tell me one sentence. I can hear it. What time can we do Minecraft? I don't know right now, but we could talk about it after this call. Okay. And then a few minutes later, he's in the pantry. I'm like, what are you doing in the pantry? He's like, I'm putting together my snack pack for the road trip. Not right now. We're going to do that later. Okay. Mom, here's what I was thinking of bringing. Remember, my mind is on the class right now. I can't talk about that right now. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's honest. And it helps him. He needs to know what's appropriate to talk about to a busy person who's getting ready to do a thing, right? It's a benefit to him. First, he had all kinds of feelings. We work through those now. And now my honesty is a benefit, right? Okay. This is your training for today. It's about colors. It was really fun. Man, I thought I'd be so scared to wear. I never, if you know me, I'm not a pink girl. I am like a hide in my gym wear sweats girl. As an athlete, I was like, good. Now I have an excuse to wear things that are not flattering at all the time. I want a hoodie over my head and leggings. I'm good with leggings now. I never thought that I could wear pink. But the pink that drew me out and having to sit there and stare at myself until I appreciate what I saw was the magical mix of, you better believe I'll be wearing pink because I'm on the earth to bring exactly what God made. If I'm not, what are we doing?